Hello and welcome. My name is Anastasia Zatula. I'm a Reiki master, NLP master. I have been studying and practicing energy for many years. And today let's talk about being introverted. Let's talk about how to stop avoiding people, how to embrace communication, how to embrace actually people around you, how to embrace living in a society. This video is for my fellow introverts, and for a long time I thought that something is wrong with me. If I don't want to communicate, if I don't want to see people, if I want to be just by myself all the time, there must be something wrong. But there is nothing really wrong if you are doing it from the right position. Now, there is obviously some kind of trauma that causes you to avoid people, to just stay away from everybody. I remember when I was little, my desire was, not little, like a teenager, to grow up, make a lot of money and live on my own. I mean, I guess I manifested my childhood dream, but this is obviously not right. I should have. Ideally, my parents should have helped me to heal the discomfort that I had, and I would be more open to socializing and to letting people in. Now, I was able to heal all that, and right now I'm more open to communications. I don't actively seek it, but when the communications find me, I'm actually open and excited about learning something new and about making new friends or acquaintances, meeting men, going on dates. So I was able to heal it, and I hope this video will help you to heal it as well. Now, it took me some time because I never thought that it was a priority kind of, but I was able to do that. And if you think that maybe I was not introverted enough, I was. I was to the point that I could stay for 3-4 days in my apartment. I would just order food and whatever I need to be delivered, just so I don't need to see anybody. I mean, I know it's not right, and it's funny now, but it was not funny at that time. So anyways, I even remember when I was at work in my finance career, if I would see somebody who is coming and I know that person is like extremely extroverted, I would just avoid. I would go to the bathroom or somewhere just to avoid people. And it was like a everyday project of, instead of focusing on how to enjoy people, my focus was how to avoid people. And I don't want you to do that, because obviously that's not right. There is a reason why we're surrounded by people. People help us to develop. They're showing us something that we need to work on, or they're showing us some good sides that we love about ourselves, you see? So it is always good to socialize. Like the other day, I met a neighbor next door, and he's just an amazing person. I mean, he's not somebody I would just regularly talk to, and I usually don't talk to neighbors, but he was just amazing. I mean, the way he thinks, the way he approaches life, I was just like in awe, just staying there listening to him. And he gave me some really bright ideas that I would never even come up with them. I didn't even know something like that existed until he told me. So you see, people around us do benefit us. They benefit us in our development. So it's better to welcome them. Now, if you think, well, I'm good, I don't need to develop, I'll just live on my own. Well, then you will have to develop through somebody. Then you will get a noisy neighbors, or maybe you will get kids that are extremely extroverted and will not leave you in peace, or maybe you will fall in love with the guy who is extremely like that. So you really won't be able to avoid your life lessons. If your life lessons is to put your soft boundaries up, then there will be somebody who will teach you. Usually these are our parents who start teaching us. Then we grow up, and instead of finishing the lesson, we basically start avoiding them, and that's obviously not right. So today we're going to heal that. I wanted to say that most people in feminine energy are introverted. People with mostly masculine energy are extroverted, especially if you have Mercury in masculine planets, then you will be extroverted. Mercury in feminine planets, introverted. The feminine planets, again, it's the feminine signs. It's Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer. These are feminine ones. And the masculine ones are Aries, Gemini, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, and Aquarius. So these are masculine. Now, extroverts, if you think extroverts don't have problems, they do have problems, and I will make another video for them, because I do have clients, and most of my clients are extrovert, and they suffer too. So I help them to kind of to heal their problems, and I will put another video for extroverts. But today about introverts, people who avoid people and who think that that this is just normal. Now again, it's not normal to be extremely outgoing, but it's also not normal to hide from people. It will hurt only you. Like I said, it was like a project, you know, the whole day all I'm doing is just avoiding people, and I would just socialize with those who made me comfortable. I mean, how that's not normal. I mean, it's good to have your comfortable friends, but it's also good to expand, to see something new, to explore, to I mean, you understand what I'm saying. So, but you will be either one or the other, depending on your communication style. And again, if you didn't watch the video on feminine style of conversation, please do watch this video. I'll put it in the description here. I think it's called the power of the feminine voice or something like that. Now, remember that we're avoiding people not because of the other people, not because they're annoying or something. If we're avoiding people because something inside of us is doesn't want to face the reality. So basically, we're avoiding them to skip the energetic pressure. They are providing some kind of pressure, and we don't want to deal with it. And this is just basically, you know, I can sum it up in one sentence. Avoiding people is avoiding energetic pressure that comes with them. Now, why is it an energetic pressure and not an inspiration or pleasure from communication? That's a different question. Now, there, I even put here, all those who are avoidant type of relationship, just trying to avoid the pressure and not sure how to address that pressure. That's basically it. Ideally, you should have been taught in childhood. Ideally, you should have been freely, you should have freely expressed yourself, and your parents helped you through this kind of type of problems. For example, if you are not an early riser and your parents used to wake you up at 6 a.m. and told you to do homework, and when the sun is not up yet, you should have just ideally, you should have your parents should have seen that you're not very productive in the morning, and you should probably say, you know, I would rather sleep, I will do my homework from 10 to 11 when I wake up. And your parents should be like, okay, if you don't do the homework, then we will have to have this conversation, but if you're convinced that you will do it, then you can sleep. Now, most of the time, I mean, kids are not going to go against their parents. So if their parents tell them to get up at 6 a.m. and do homework, I mean, they will do, because you can't fight really the parents. For the kids, parents are like little gods, and the kids just follow the lead because they're dependent on them energetically, and not only energetically. Now, ideally, when the parents can observe their kids, they kind of feel what the kid likes and what the kid doesn't like, so they wouldn't be pushing. But for those who didn't have such understanding parents, or maybe the parents that didn't saw it as a right thing to do, then this will be the steps to kind of heal it, because I was able to heal it, and I have no problems. I mean, I'm still somewhat avoiding people. I'm not actively seeking communications, but if I see if I meet somebody and seems like a nice person, I would gladly talk. I mean, I'm open to communicating. Now, so ideally, people are coming into your life because you need to address the situation, you need to face the situation, face the challenge, face that energetic pressure, fix the situation, and then move on. If you won't do it, then it will be repeating. Like, for example, you have noisy neighbors, and they just keep annoying you non-stop. You see, you need to address the situation. You can't be just shutting yourself out. Well, maybe noisy neighbors is not that. Let's imagine a neighbor that always likes to talk, that as soon as you come out of your apartment, the neighbor is right there, hey, you know, and start talking to you and start gossiping, start telling you all the stories, and you obviously are not really into that. So what you need to do, instead of avoiding the neighbor like I used to do, for many years. I would just wait until all are out and then I will come out. You need to address that, and you need to express yourself. You need to tell the neighbors that, look, I'm not really interested in that. I need to go, and that's it. Or let's talk about something else. What do you do? Maybe there is something useful that this person can bring into your life. So and you will be in these situations will be always repeating. I was surprised because I had some situations, no matter how far I move, they resurfaced again and again and again. I had situations at work with my colleagues because I couldn't put the soft boundaries like really strong. I have obviously the situations with my partners, with my man, and again, until I faced them and I addressed them, they were repeating. At first I was thinking, well, maybe this person is just not nice, the next one will be nicer, or maybe this person just doesn't understand me, the other one will understand me. But no, the problem was not in people, the problem was in me. And only when I healed it, I was able to enjoy their presence in me. So, for example, even put here. For example, you always hated when your parents used to wake you up at 6 a.m. You always hated when somebody is super super active in the mornings. There are such people. They wake up at 5 a.m. They go for a run. They have breakfast. They do a whole bunch of things by the time you wake up. And so you were a child like this, and your parents were super active, and they always thought that you need to wake up early. Like my parents. My parents were like this, and they didn't really bother me, but they would wake up and they start doing, and they would always kind of frown upon. They kind of didn't like that I would sleep longer than I should have, and they would always say, you're going to sleep through your whole day, and this, and these remarks, they always kind of. So I always thought when I grew up, I just want to sleep until I wake up myself without any kind of push. Now, so imagine this is you. Imagine this you're this person, and then you kind of so you grew up and you're out of the house. You don't you can sleep all you want, but because you didn't address this situation will repeat. You will probably get a partner who is an early bird, or you probably will get a kid who is like really somebody who rises really early. Or maybe you will get a job that you need to go really. So you see, the situation is not fixed; it's not closed. You can be running away from it, but you still will until you will fix it. You won't be able to avoid it. There will be different people coming into your life, and these people you won't be able to skip. So you grew up and left your parents, but somebody like a child, you can't just. So you would need to wait another 18 years. To finally put your soft borders. This is not how it works. So what I want to say is that the patterns will be repeating until you will face the challenge, and this is important. It's actually with everything in your life, not necessarily just with communication and just with socializing with people. So when I already mentioned this, so when your mom was waking you up early in the morning, you should have told her, I am more productive during the day, so let me sleep and then I will be productive. And she would be like, for example, me and my brother, we had chores for our household, like every kid, I think. And my brother was kind of a slow doer. Like he would take his time doing some things. I couldn't tolerate this stuff, so I would finish very fast, and then I would just not do nothing. Now we still had his work was done and my work was done. It was at a different pace for both of us. So it doesn't mean that somebody is lazy or not lazy. Like for example, when we were teenagers, we were visiting our grandparents and they have like a little farm. So we had to help them with that farm. And my brother, he's an early riser. He would get up at 5 and start his work. I would get up at 10. I will be like on the field or like in the garden by 11, and I would finish my work before him. Now, for my grandparents, my brother was always a hard worker because he spent the whole day there, and I and I finished my work in 2 hours just because I could not I could not stand like digging in the dirt for too long. So anyways, what I want to say is that the patterns will repeat and repeat, and you would need to address them, and you should have addressed them with your parents. But if you are not able to address them with your parents, we're going to do it today together. So what do you need to do? You need to realize how others bother you. Now remember, it's all inside of you. If somebody is chewing loudly and that bothers you, I mean, that's probably not a reason, but that's already a last drop. You know, that person irritates you like in some bigger way. Him chewing loudly is already the last drop. You wouldn't be with the person from the start if he would be chewing loudly. But so find the reason what you don't like, what bothers you, what bothers your peace, you know. I put here, another person's breathing is not a valid reason. Now it has to have an effect on you personally. For example, a conflict in Middle East is not affecting you, at least right now, anyhow personally. So don't shut yourself from people just because they're on different sides of the barricades. Like, you need to find it how it affects you personally. For example, I could not wake up early in the morning, and if somebody is loud, that affects me personally, because then I'm up and I'm unhappy and I'm miserable because I'm up so early. Like this affects me personally. Or here I put an example. You don't like when somebody talks very loud on the phone. That's a valid reason. I don't like when people are loud altogether. But when they're on the phone for like 2 hours, talking. Now then, from here, find the reason why you don't like when people are loud on the phone. Like, what is it? Are you upset that they are not paying attention to you but paying to another person, or you just upset that there's too much noise for 2 hours? Now you need to find those reasons, and those reasons have to be true reasons. It's not because, well, why is he gossiping for 2 hours? I mean, that's his business. Let him gossip. None of you, it doesn't affect you if he's gossiping or not, as long as he's not gossiping about you. You need to find what exactly bothers your peace. So is it him being preoccupied with somebody else, or is it him being making this loudness in the apartment? You see, the whole concept is not to change others, but to change yourself. You changing others all the time will not do anything. You see, like you could not make a person lay in bed quietly until 10 a.m. just because you want to sleep. That's not right. That other person also has some kind of personality and they have a life, and you love them because they're individuals and they do what they want to do, right? So you wouldn't want to change them. You need to change something inside of you and learn how to negotiate so these situations won't reappear. Now, so you found that. Hold the thought on that. Just keep that on. Then you need to basically address the situations like this happen because you have some kind of chaos inside. So you need to eliminate that chaos inside of you. So, for example, you and your partner are at home and he starts talking on the phone and it bothers you greatly. Now, he started talking on the phone is because you are not calm inside of you. You would need to fix that situation. For example, I'll tell you, I like to go to cafes. I sit there, I write my scripts, I kind of think about what needs to be done next. I like to to analyze where I'm standing, what I'm doing next. I write the scripts for these videos. I like to brainstorm basically in the cafes. Now, sometimes in the cafes could be a little loud. There is different people, they could be talking, so I noticed long time ago that if I am not calm inside of myself, there will be noise. And if I am peaceful and calm, there is no noise. Now, I could not obviously tell everybody to vacate the place and leave me here in peace by myself and the waiters. I mean, obviously, so what I do, I always address the peace inside. What I do, I breathe, I calm myself down, I decide what is bothering me, and suddenly everything works out. People start leaving or they become quiet or something like that. The thing is that I'm strong like that. Energetically, I can do it. I've been doing it for years. I can affect almost any kind of place as long as it's not too crowded. Maybe 50, 60 people I can cover. Now, you depending on how you will address the situation, is up to you. But somebody making a lot of noise is not really, it's not his fault, it's your fault. Something inside of you is not at peace. That's why there is noise outside. You see, like when you feel guilty, there is punishment that comes from the outside. The same here. If you feel like uneasy inside, there will be unease outside. So you need to address it. But this is only one part of the socializing. Obviously, there is different, right? So you need to address it somehow. Let's have another example. Let's have an example that let's imagine you have neighbors that are basically, well, I already did that, so no. Let's do something else. Why could somebody avoid people? There was a time for me when I used to avoid people because I always thought that people want something from me. And it was so true. Anybody, like I would meet with my friends and they would be like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you help me with this? Can you do me this? I mean, like, I all the time. It was since high school. Like I used to hate when somebody would ask me to copy my homework, or like somebody would ask me to help them with studying or something. I don't know. I was like this. I hate it. So I always thought that people want something from me, and I would avoid them because I thought that they would want something from me. Now, when I kind of address this issue, it seems like nobody wants anything from me. I mean, I'm able to provide my services and my help, but for a particular fee. And it seems everybody is happy with that as well, with that setting. So you need to find what exactly bothers you, what are you afraid of, and then address it. You need to address it. There is no other way, honestly. You would need to fight the challenge of talking to another person and telling them how it is. Ideally, you should have done it with your parents. And if you have unhealed kind of relationship with your parents, then do it with them. It would be the easiest thing. Like, for example, if your mom is nonchalantly calling you every single minute and you could not answer and you're getting like all irritated, you need to come and talk to her and say, Mom, I do have a life. Please don't call me. Let's make a deal. I will call you every morning at 6 a.m. and I will just tell you that everything is fine and that's it, like once a day. So you basically need to talk to your mom, address this issue, and because if you will not address it with your mom, then you will have kids that will be like this, or friends like this, so you could not avoid everybody. And I was like this. If you know, my phone was on silent even before it became popular to be on silent. I didn't like to talk to anybody. I didn't like when anybody would call me. It was crazy. So right now, I mean, I'm all for communication, and not as actively, but I'm not jumping every time somebody calls me or texts me. So you need to address it. This is just something you need to go in discomfort and address it, because in future your life will be even harder if you do not address it now. With your parents, yeah, you can avoid their calls, but when you will get a partner, I mean, are you going to avoid him? So, okay, you will avoid the calls of one partner, and then there will be another partner who would be selfish enough to kind of call you and talk to you for hours and hours and hours. I mean, you cannot be avoiding that. At one point, you need to start talking to them. Actually, I will put the video on soft boundaries here as well. It would be a good video to watch. Anyways, what else you need to do? You need to, here I put it here, don't run away from people, stay and fix whatever you don't like. You can't constantly hide from everything and everybody. Usually we're avoidant when we are not sure how to fix the issue. The issue is non-existent borders, you see. Usually we're just afraid to enforce our borders, but people don't mind, honestly. They don't. I fixed all this with almost everybody. I only have like few people left that I'm still a little that I still need to put my foot down. Very, very few, honestly. And I know that the time for that will come, and will come very soon. But nobody ever minded me telling. Like, for example, I had a friend and she asked me to because I'm a US citizen, and she asked me to sponsor her relatives to come, not to sponsor, but to to be like on a visa. I don't know how it's called, but like vouch for them while they will be visiting. And I didn't feel comfortable, first of all, because I'm not sure who these people are, and there is like a whole family. I'm not sure what their intentions are. So and she been asking me that for like a few years in advance, like she was preparing for this. And I told her, basically, I got enough strength, and I told her, listen, I don't know, I don't feel comfortable, and I'm not going to do that. Now she anyways put my name and my phone number. I guess there is like a form that you need to fill up. And she told me, she's like, oh, you know, I'm sorry, I didn't know that you didn't want to do it. I already put your name on the form. And I told her, remove it, because I'm not comfortable, and I'm not going to do it. And if somebody will call me, I'm not even going to acknowledge this. So I actually had enough strength to, you know, to tell her that. And a couple months after, she said, you know, I'm happy that you didn't do it, because so it was her relatives, and they had an agenda. It's like I felt, and they wanted to do something else, and I would have been responsible. And she's like, I'm happy you didn't do it, because I'm not sure what they're going to do in the future and what their plans are. So you see, nobody ever told me, no, Anastasia, you are a mean person. No, nobody. But I was very, very sure before putting my foot down. So, another thing that you need to start doing, you need to here I put, running from people will not do nothing. You will meet other people like this at work, online, or anywhere. Partners, kids. So unless you plan to lock yourself in the apartment and never really talk to anybody, I mean, it won't do. I had a neighbor a long time ago in Brooklyn, and she was very introverted. If I was introverted, she was even more introverted. It took me 5 years to even find out what her name was, because she would be so avoidant, she wouldn't even say hi. As soon as she sees somebody, she would just shut the door. So one day she was like angry, and I saw her, she's walking from the store with these bags, and like I can see she's like puffing. I'm like, are you okay? Is everything okay? She's like an elderly woman, and she's like basically she was unhappy with people in the store, that you will never see. You just come, take your stuff, and just out. And she was so unhappy with them, you see. So you won't be able to avoid the issue. It will come again and again and again until you'll finally address it. And another advice that I wanted to give you is start liking people. They will be more likable to you. You will see. I was not liking people. I was very cautious of people. I never knew what to expect from them since childhood. I was always a little, you know, like slow to trust, slow to even warm up to somebody. And the people usually were like this. They were not always nice. They sometimes could be rude or aggressive towards me, because I was very cautious. It's like I was expecting something from them. I was expecting them to prove that I'm not cautious just because. I'm cautious with the reason, and they would prove me. Once I started liking people, I mean, people became very, very likable, very nice. Men became very chivalrous, very gentlemanly, because I was not expecting something bad from them. I was expecting something great. And I advise you to do that. Like, start being open to. Here, I put here, I used to dread socializing. Socializing was a torture for me, and that's true. I understood that I have to socialize because I live in a society. I mean, I must. Like, I was pushing myself to. But it was not a pleasure, you know. Like, if my friends, for example, were inviting me to a party, I would like mentally prepare myself for weeks and weeks and weeks to go to that party, because and then after that party, I would get myself back together for another few days at least, and that was obviously not right. How could you enjoy yourself if you're dreading even socializing? So. Once I learned how to deal with this, once I learned how to welcome people, how to be open to socializing, all these parties, events became much more enjoyable. Again, I don't go to every party. I'm not like that. But when I do, I'm actually looking forward to it. You know, like when I'm meeting somebody, when I'm talking to somebody, I'm enjoying that moment. I'm enjoying that process. Doesn't mean that I'm all social butterfly right now. No. But at least I'm open to communicating, um, to enjoying myself. All right, so I think that's it. Let me just sum it up. You see, once I started looking forward to communicating, to connecting with people, people started to connect with me in a more enjoyable way. So let me sum it up. We're avoiding people. People are introverts, usually people with Mercury in feminine signs. Now, why they're avoiding people? Because usually they're on the quieter side, they don't talk much, so they believe they don't have enough aggression to address, to push their borders forward. Now, masculine people are more kind of, they try to to overpower others. They have their own issues, and we'll talk about them in another video. We're avoiding people because we basically, there's like a huge energetic pressure. We don't know how to fight them back. And we think that something is wrong with us, so we just shut ourselves away from everybody. Usually this avoidance starts in childhood, when the parents start overpowering you, and you don't know how to address it. You're not open to address it. You're not welcome to address it. You're not allowed even to address it. That's what happens. That's what usually happens in childhood. Then you grow up, and now you're independent, so you just shut yourself out. Ideally, what you need to do, you need to heal this relationship with parents. You need to put like really good borders. You need to have this completely soft, warm communication with them. Like me and my mom, we never really had any kind of arguments, nothing like that. But she's an early riser and I'm not. So when she's visiting me, she's waking up early and quietly she goes for a walk or whatever. I don't know what people do in the morning. Maybe she goes to a cafe, has some breakfast, I'm not sure. But I am waking up slowly, I'm slow to wake up, I'm slow to start my day, and she gives me this time. Even though we have obviously separate bedrooms and everything, we still I don't like when somebody's making noise in the kitchen, and she knows that, so she respects my time. Me, on the other hand, I respect her need to wake up early and to go and do and be active, you see. So and this is how it is, but it was not always like this, and I encourage you to start with parents. If your parents are alive, if they are if you're socializing with them, build ideal relationship with them first. They are always the first one who teaches. Then we get our partners, then we get kids, and so we're always taught by somebody. Somebody is always showing us what we're lacking. But the first ones are parents, and if you still have not a very easy relationship with parents, that means that pattern is not really learned yet. So you would need to go back and relearn it again. So this is what it is. So the steps to overcome it, I was able to, is basically you need to address what bothers you in people. It can't be something that absolutely that it has to be something that affects you. So just because somebody is supporting some kind of cause, but it doesn't affect you, you shouldn't be getting upset, because it doesn't really affect you anyhow. I mean, I was talking to some guy the other day, and he had he was so passionate about some causes that I was like, really, why would you even care? But again, really doesn't affect me. I mean, if he wants to, he can. He has this kind of idea of going and cleaning up the rivers in Southeast Asia, and I'm like, sure. I would not even fight him. I don't really care. I mean, this is him. It doesn't affect me anyhow. So whatever bothers you in other people has to affect you personally. Then find the reason. What is that personal is? Just because a person is chewing very loud doesn't mean... So what bothers you? That he's chewing very loud, is he disrespecting you? Or is the noise that is that bothers you? Like, for example, I used to have an issue when I'm going out with somebody to eat, and another person doesn't order nothing, orders something small like an appetizer, especially if it's a guy. I always had this problem. But the problem was not really with him, or with him not ordering, or with him ordering something small. The problem was with me. I was thinking, what will they think that we came here to the restaurant and not ordering nothing? I mean, that was not a valid issue for me to be upset with somebody. I mean, some people are on a diet or they don't want to eat, so that's okay. So it has to affect you. Now you need to find the root cause of what is affecting you. And then you need to address it. You need to go basically and address it. That's it. You just talk to him and tell him, listen, when you're making this noise, when you're chewing so loud, it's just I could not enjoy my food like this. You can make a joke out of it. There's nothing wrong with that, honestly. I used to be a friend with the guy. He would slurp. Like he would drink like this. Oh, I don't have a glass to show. If he's eating soup, he like it was so funny. And so one time we were together, we were having lunch, and he ordered soup, and I said, "Oh, here we go. The slurping will start right now." And he was like, "What do you mean?" So I told him about the slurping. He said, "I never even paid attention." And after that, I told him that was like a joke. I really didn't care for him much. But I addressed it, and after that he stopped slurping. You see, I guess nobody ever pointed out to him, so it was obviously a joke on my part, and he didn't took it too hard, but he took it, he addressed it, and he stopped slurping. In the future, at least with me, I'm not sure what he's doing there at home. Or I was also on a date with one guy in one country. It was very interesting. Also, I don't know, maybe it was a cultural thing or something, but when he started eating, he basically put his head all the way down to the plate and was like eating like this. Again, the guy is from a very wealthy family. He's like well off, successful. I'm not sure why he was eating like this. Again, he had nothing, like, it was not awkward. It was just very strange to me, because I know that you never lower your head when you're eating, but again, it did not affect me personally. If it would affect, I would address it. With the slurping, it affected me a little bit, so I addressed. So you need to address it. That's it. If you don't feel guilt for addressing it, the person will never make you feel bad. They will be like, okay. If you're with the man and he wakes up very early and you could not stand it, right? You can tell him, listen, we have to get a bigger place, so I think I will start sleeping in another room, because I like to have my mornings slow and you like to have them very active, so let's just help each other, and that's all. He will not fight you for that. He will any man wants to make you happy. And basically you need to start liking people, start socializing, being open to socializing, to communicating with new people, to meeting with new people. Look towards any kind of social events as to something exciting. You will see how fast the whole situation with the communication will change. You will see. I was so surprised when I started looking forward to going somewhere, to meeting other people. I mean, it became a very interesting experience. Now, but do address whatever bothers you. Like I did with always, like I thought that people always want something from me, and I was able to address it with this friend of mine. Then I addressed with a couple other people. I mean, look, just so to show you my point, right? So when I was in school, people wanted to copy my homework. I always was a straight A student. Okay, and then I started growing up and up and up. Then I worked in finances for a long time, so my credit impeccable, my this and this is always impeccable. So people start asking me to co-sign with them on a loan. So it was already on a bigger scale. And if I would not address it at that level, who knows? Somebody would ask me to buy a house on my name for them or something like that. I mean, it had to be addressed, and I addressed it, and I'm very happy that I addressed it. Now, I was able to address all that because I'm obviously was open to this. I was healing. I was on my healing journey. I worked on my energy. I was strong. I was strong enough to address it. If you do not do this right now, you will have to do it in the future. So it's better if you will do it now with the strong energy while you're young, than to wait until you will be like 50 or 60 and have to deal with this. All right, that's it. Please send this video to all the introverts that are hiding in their cozy little corners. Let them come out. Let them start communicating. Let them start enjoying. Again, extroverts, you would think that they are such a bullies. They are not. They also suffer, and I will address that in the second video of this. And you'll see, if you are an extrovert, then please do watch that video, because that would be very helpful for you. I was able to help my clients with this. I mean, they obviously had their own issues, and they were able to heal that. And those clients came to my life not by chance, you see, because even in my they are my clients, and therefore our communication is strictly professional, but still their communication expectations were different from mine, and I had to adjust me, and they had to adjust themselves, and we had to go and heal their traumas, so they wouldn't think that I'm ignoring them or something like that. So anyways, I will talk about this in the next video. Meanwhile, I hope it was helpful. Please do like, comment, ask questions if you have, and I will see you in the next video. Bye everybody, enjoy your day.